Hello and welcome back to Russ Plays Games. My name is Russ, and as you can see, I'm sitting in front of my movie wall. I have a Star Wars t-shirt on, my Episode 3 movie right next to me. That will become important in a minute. My trusty unboxing knife, and a plain Jane Brown box in front of me, which means it is time for another unboxing. So this is a game that I saw on Kickstarter a while back, and I mean, this was, I think, sometime towards the end of last year. And I thought, man, that looks fun. It's a deck building game about interstellar broadsides, which is kind of interesting. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen a game that did something like that. But basically, the reason why I have my my Star Wars Episode 3 movie here is because if you remember in this film, in the very beginning, in the Battle of Coruscant, right, after they kill Dooku and they're escaping through the ship, right, they're trying to get back. They're trying to get back to the docking base so that they can get something and get out with the Chancellor. There's a point at which, like, the CIS ship with Grievous on it comes this way, and a Republic ship comes this way, and they come in and they prepare for attack, and then they start and they start broadsiding each other. Okay, well, this is The Last Command, a dual deck building game by Ty McDonald. This is a game. It says 2 starships in a broadside battle. 50 years ago, a vicious unknown group invaded the settled systems. The fighting was bloody and desperate. Countless ships and dozens of planets were lost. Most of the surviving species met together and decided that unity would be needed to prevail. The Federation was formed. The Sunder, as the enemy came to be known, were eventually beaten back, excised from known space. Now they have returned, and the war has resumed. The end is near. One final battle to dictate the fate of the galaxy. Take this ship, Captain, for it truly is the last command. And I get 2 neoprene ship mats, 54 system cards, 30 crew cards, 12 starting cards, 16 malfunctions, 10 trackers, 6 alternative asymmetrical starting cards, a rulebook. It also gets exclusive items of 12 card Captain's Cache expansion, unique artwork card sleeves, and 10 metal trackers. And so I backed this on Kickstarter, like, towards the end of last year. I can't remember the exact date that I backed this, but I was excited. I saw this and I was like, this looks cool, because I love deck builders. For those of you who know, if you've been around my channel for a while, you'll know that I backed the Star Realms big their whole, like, it was a premium foil edition in a really cool box, and it was like a special collector's edition, I think is what they called it. And I actually bought some card sleeves. I put everything in the card sleeves. I took it to a game night, and we played that sucker for, like, we played like 3 or 4 games of that. It was so much fun. We had just so much fun playing that game. So I'm excited to actually tuck into this one. This one's going to be cool. Now, it is only 2 players, which kind of sucks, but, you know, it is what it is. So here's the rule book. Wow, like, real high quality. Very, very decent. Has that sort of, like, new, like, brand new smell to it. You know how it is when you open up a brand new box and you kind of, oh, love that smell. So here's here's the setup. Here's you know, some of the gameplay stuff. Yeah, it tells you about the cards, tells you about the mat, the little play mat, tells you about winning and losing, the glossary, card clarifications, gameplay variants. They have asymmetrical, fog of war, and solo mode. And then you take the following card quantities from the deck in the market area without looking at them. Shuffle the starting system and crews, blah, blah, blah. And then you have a bunch of other... And then that, I think, yeah, the solo mode continues on the back. And then there's a bunch of credits on the back here. And so, yeah, they did a really good job with this one. And so here's... I think these are the metal trackers. And these are the plastic ones. So these are plastic trackers. Okay, and then here are the metal ones. So you can kind of see them there. They're pretty interesting. They're hefty. They're them's pretty hefty. So yeah, there's 4 blue and 4 red metal trackers, and then you have two trackers there. And so yeah, they have a bunch of different things. That's pretty cool. Now, in typical board gaming fashion, which I absolutely love, there's a really nice plastic insert here where you have your 2 neoprene playmats and then your decks. Okay. Here's... I'll show you what these playmats look like. Oh, come on now. So, that's what the playmat looks like. Okay? So, real high quality. So that's for the Sunder. That's what that is up there, and that's the name of the ship. And then, yeah, and then you have your health. Up here, you have some stuff up here. You have your engineering, comms, and tactical. You have your system card deck, your crew card deck, your discards, and then you have stationed crew. You have a limit of 3 stationed crew. So, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a really decent, really decent high quality playmat there. And then here is, this one would be for the Federation, the Heart of Valdespar. Shaboing. So there you go. And then again, it's the same thing. Just kind of, and so to play, you just set up the 2 mats across the table from each other, and then you set up the decks in what's known as the market area, and then you play. You go back and forth. You hit things. You do things, and it's pretty good. Let me see here. I think. Aha. These are the card sleeves. You can see that they have the name, the last command on them. They're very, very nice. They're nice and spongy. They have kind of a white interior on them. They have kind of a nice finish. And I believe this is the expansion that they had mentioned on the back of the box. The Captain's command. Yeah, Captain's Cache. 9 system and 3 crew. So there's Power Specialist Faz. That's a crew. They have Power Specialist Nico. He's a crew. And Power Specialist Dejar. And then you have tactical system cards. You have Homing Missile, the CIC, and a Breach Missile. So there's the breach missile card. The CIC, Command Information and Control. And then the homing missile. And then you have comm systems, which are boarding party, jamming drone, and origin array. And then you have engineering systems, repair teams, okay, scrap collector, and siphon drones. Pretty cool. And then they have some little clarifications on them, so that you can run them as, you know, so that you know what they say, what they do, and how they work. So I'll have to sit down and tuck into the rules so that I kind of understand how it plays. Okay. And let me open up the decks of cards here. I'll end up putting them in sleeves eventually. Okay. Get off me. Alrighty. Interesting. So they have, like, here's an example of some of the cards. Dexier Symbiote, and then they have a whole bunch of personnel, crew. So like there's Cadet Fitz, Cadet Malkesh, Com Peppers, Ensign Bither, Ensign Fifths, kind of a Borg looking dude, Ensign Ian, Ensign Lake, Lieutenant Commander Sky, Lieutenant Commander Valorn, Lieutenant Context. He's a little bug dude with all this stuff. Lieutenant Janit, kind of a cat-looking, rabbit-looking person. And then Lieutenant Nathan, or something like that. Okay. And then you have a whole bunch of engineering cards here. Things like fleet frigates, fleet mine ship, fleet transport, Keshran Corsair, Keshran Edict, Pirate Rex, Quick Ship, Rutari Slave, Skrizian Blade, Skrizian Claw, Skrizian Maul, Shuttle Bay, Trade Rocket. There's more guys. There's Cadet Core. There's Cadet Petra, Commander Kali, Ensign Clayton, kind of a person with like some arms, like some AI arms or something. Ensign Link. Let's hope he's not looking for Zelda. Ensign Micah. Ensign NEAS. Kind of a horse-looking dude. Lieutenant Click. Lieutenant Commander Blurg. Lieutenant Commander Vector. Lieutenant Follow Teg. Lieutenant Piggy. And then you have a bunch of the green ones here. You have Ablative Hull. Lose the fingers, save the body. Armored Mech. Fabricators. Holodeck. Kata reactor, nuclear reactor, quantum artifact, quantum reactor, repair bots, repair drones, different things like that. So I'm guessing it was actually a this one's just easier to do it this way. Get off my fingers. Piece of junk. Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of different things. Yeah, there's some shield drones. There's ship's AI. Sonic Shower. Return all crew cards in one of your systems to your hand. So if you want to, like, replace your crew cards if you have better crews or whatever. Here is your malfunction cards. So these are like console overload. There's power failure, secondary explosion, vented compartment. So just different little cards like that. And then these are your starting cards. You have, for the Federation, you have Cadet Keto. You have Cadet Killian. Commander Shepard. Colonel Commodore. Ensign Jackson. Ensign Turolk. Ensign Zulu, Lieutenant Commander Ben, Lieutenant Commander Finn, Lieutenant Phil, Lieutenant Scraz, and Lieutenant Turner. And then you have a bunch of, or I guess those are other cards that they have, and then you have a couple of turn reference cards. These are kind of hard to see because they're white, but basically you can kind of see some of the different symbols on them and stuff like that. But there's basically, it tells you like you play all cards from your hand, you make market purchases, you enable system bonus abilities, and then you draw 3 cards. You have crew expertise types, you have ship system types, and different things like that. And then you have actually, I think these might be your starting cards here. So you have basic lasers. You have chain Vulcans, charge lasers, cloak mines, guardian crystal, hydra missile, A's and B's, hyperkinetic dart, ion cannon, point defense, railgun, scythe beam, siege cannon, tri-laser, 0-point laser. So I'll have to go through these and kind of figure out which ones are which and how they all work and what they do and everything like that. But anyway, that was the last command. So I'm looking forward to playing this game. I'm going to be heading down to see my girlfriend pretty soon, here in a little bit, as of filming this, about 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks. I'm going to go down there, so I might bring this with me and try to get in a couple of plays while I'm down there, and just kind of see how it plays and kind of see what happens. And what I might do is, if my girlfriend and I are playing, I might set up some filming equipment so that we can kind of see the board, and then we might just start playing and just kind of show you guys how it plays as a game. So it's definitely something that I've been interested in getting into. It's been a long time coming. because of the tariff situation in the U.S. right now and the rest of the world, because that was coming from China. There was some tariffs that were on it, but I got to hand this to the game company and to Ty, the maker of the game. He basically told people that we were not going. He told the backers that what we paid is what we paid, and we were not going to pay any more. That their company was going to absorb the tariff costs for the shipping and for some of the manufacturing. So I got to hand it to them. Those guys are doing excellent. I'm also waiting on Darkest Doom still. That one should be later on this year. In fact, I think it should be towards the end of the summer, is when I think they're hoping to have those back. Hoping to have those kind of done and ready to go, because they they didn't make the pre New Year's Chinese New Year window to start doing the production run. So the production run wasn't going to happen until after. And so that's going to be coming out in a little while. I also backed a game on Kickstarter. I actually saw this on Facebook, and I actually reached out to the gentleman. He sent me a copy of the rules. I read them through. They look fun, and I can't wait to get this game. And this one will be out probably later on this year, like October, I think, is his window that he's shooting for. It is called Computer Junkyard. It is phenomenal. So basically what it is is you basically you find an old computer game that you can't run on a modern system, so you end up wanting to build an old system to play. And so you start with a chassis, which is your basically computer tower, and you start with a processor, okay? And then from that, you have to build, you draw certain chips every turn. You draw certain computer components every turn. And then you play said computer components. You also have bugs that you can attach to your opponent's computers, and they have to get bug spray cards that they can play to remove the bugs from their system and then put them back into the center. And the reason why it's called Computer Junkyard is because you can sell components back to the junkyard for money to purchase new components. And the more components that are in the center, the less money you have to spend, but the less money you earn when you pay that part back, if that makes sense. So if you have, like, say, if you're the first one to put a RAM chip in, you get like $12 to spend. But the person who buys that RAM chip from the center has to spend $12, if that makes sense. And don't worry, you don't have to have any computer knowledge for the game. It's very intuitive because it's basically just like putting a puzzle together. You just have to connect the components. And there's also like a little reference sheet card that he will have for every single player, because it'll be a 4-player game, 2 to 4 players. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to be able to, like, it will tell you how to connect everything together, okay? So what goes where, like what connects to the motherboard, and then what connects to that, and what connects to that. And then basically what you have to do is you have to complete your whole entire puzzle, and then you have to basically install your software to be able to play it. And if you do that, if you're the first one to do that, you win. So it looks so much fun. I backed it on Kickstarter. There's a couple of Kickstarter exclusives that were a part of the bundle that I'm getting that were add-ons later on. If you want to buy like the normal version of it, there's like some add-ons that you can put. If you buy a larger tier, you can get those add-ons as part of that tier, which is what I did. I backed that one. So I basically backed the $75 pledge level. And then I'm also building, and then I'm also going to have, and there's some new Kickstarter exclusive things, like there's an upgraded pouch that's going to be made of cloth. There's some, like, I think there's like metal money coming up if he gets to a certain pledge level. So if you see this, have at it. So let me know in the comments below. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think of The Last Command. Let me know if you'd like me to feature a Let's Play of it on this channel. I might even be able to do a solo version of it here eventually. I've got some other things that I have to do first in the meantime. But because I'm still working on the Elder Scrolls. I know I've been working on it for like 2 months. But I have to get all of the footage. I kind of have to clear up my computer first. I have like a bunch of videos. So I'm doing the James Bond retrospective. I'm doing a few other things. So I'm trying to get everything done. So keep with me. I'm going to have it hopefully here pretty soon. So stay tuned for the rest of the James Bond retrospective. And I'm going to start getting back into some apologetics things. I'm also looking at doing some more retrospectives on the channel, because here again, I have a ton of movies that I need to get into. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you're excited about Darkest Doom. If you backed Darkest Doom, let me know if you backed this game. Let me also know if you backed Computer Junkyard, or if you're thinking about backing Computer Junkyard. I'm excited about it. I don't know about you, but I think it's going to be a wonderful game. And as we say, we will see you on the next one.